You have brown eyes.
I have brown eyes.
You have brown eyes.
You have brown hair?
No, that's not how you
Is
do
that
it.
not how it works?
You just every single time I'll say you have brown eyes and you say I have brown eyes.
I have brown eyes.
You have brown eyes.
I have brown eyes.
You have brown eyes.
It's too sensual. I don't like this. That's Dan's acting exercise.
Hmm.
We don't need it to get into character. We're always in character.
Permanently in character. As soon as record is pressed, mate, I just morph into my new character.
Yeah, when we go home, I'm a geezer and Joe
Go on.
gets on League of Legends.
I am a League of Legends massive fan, yeah.
Yeah. But you would never know because we're really good actors.
You'd never know, yeah.
We're actually, yeah.
Jad Steele, we're going to time travel today.
Okay.
The year is 2024. And I want us today to reflect on the year so far. Probably in particular, the last 3 months.
Okay.
Since we sort of started Let Me In.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about how we found things, how the podcast has gone, how the company's gone, how we've done so far, how you found things, how I found things, and just wrap the year off, really.
Yep.
And then maybe finish with some highlights from the podcast so far and some clips.
Sounds great.
I'm going to start with 3 dates to you and see if you know what these 3 dates are. We have November the 3rd, November the 17th, and December the 3rd.
Okay.
I think you'll definitely know the last one.
I know all of them.
You know, what's November the 3rd?
Birth of our company.
The birth of our company. That's correct. That's exactly the wording I like as well.
November.
That's the day that Jad Steele became a director of a limited company. Quite a big moment for you. Quite a surreal one for you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was weird actually. I wrote about it and I said after that day I don't think I've worn a graphic tee. That's true. That's actually true.
That's such a Jad Steele reaction.
That's not even
I don't think you'll even believe this, but since I became a director of a limited company, not even worn a graphic t-shirt.
No, seriously.
Shit.
I've dressed a bit better, I think.
You dressed up.
Yeah.
You feel like a man now, a businessman.
I feel like a 25-year-old as opposed to before where I felt like a
24-year-old.
Yeah.
Nice.
18-year-old.
An 18-year-old.
Felt like an overgrown 18-year-old before.
Yeah. Well,
the 17th of November was I actually don't know.
17th November was the first release of this podcast.
Is that right?
Episode 1, Getting to Know Jad. We that episode, how many takes did we do with that episode in the end?
5.
Yeah, that was the 5th version.
And imagine that's the 5th one.
Imagine what. So we started off. We did it first. We recorded it on our phone. That was like a practice. though. We knew that was a practice.
Yeah, that was a practice.
The next time you convinced me to buy these like like wireless 20 quid microphones, and they were so bad. They were worse than just having the phone there.
They were worse than the phone, yeah.
Yeah, and they're more complicated. And they were just terrible.
Shit.
That got binned off, and then we obviously spent. We didn't spend that much money. We spent like about 150, 200 pound.
Yeah.
On all the equipment, like microphones, cables, audio interface.
I think it was like 100.
Actually, it's more like 300 in the end. You know?
No.
It was actually, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, but that was a few other things as well. I mean, more like 250.
Okay.
Because the audio interface itself was 120.
Oh yeah,
Microphones about 30 each. Got 3 of them.
We spent a bit of money. Wow.
And I think it went quite well. Episode 1.
Episode 1. I didn't listen to it for about a week.
Yeah.
Because I think it's when you do the first of anything. I mean, I catastrophize a little bit, so I really didn't listen to that, and we actually did get some really nice comments from it.
We had some lovely comments, and we really appreciate the comments. To be fair, it made me smile.
Yeah. Me too. Genuinely, like some of the comments weren't just like, "Oh, this was good." They were very specific and nice.
Yeah. Well, it's the first time I've put anything out there. You know me, I don't have a social media presence.
Yeah. How did you feel about that?
I felt, I think I was quite happy. I was quite nervous, just like putting, like I said, I don't have anything of myself out there anyway. It's obviously a new arena for me. And I was very, and then the messages, they were very nice actually. They made me feel very proud of myself. I'm proud of us. Sorry, proud of us.
Oh yeah, I was proud of us. It's the first thing we've done together, really. Apart from live together.
Apart from like live together.
Make burgers together now.
Yeah, we cook. We've cooked loads of times together.
Yeah, we're quite good at, you know what, that's actually, I wouldn't take that for granted because there's lots of people who can't cook. I can't cook with a lot of people.
That's fair enough, mate. I'll take it as a compliment.
We cook well together. But 17th, so yeah, you felt, I think you were more positive about it than I was.
Yeah. Well, you didn't really listen to it before we released it. You edited it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Never listened to the whole thing.
I hated it.
And then did it. But actually it came across as, I've not listened to it back since though.
I have.
I've not listened to it since it's been live. I listened to it just before we put it out.
Okay.
And listened to it before we listened to it live. So, but yeah, I do find it hard to listen to my own voice. But I've got better at that. Yeah. I've edited a few episodes myself, so I've got a bit better at listening to it. But we still mumble a lot. I'm going to try not to mumble here.
I think our radio voices have actually developed.
I think they have. I'm over-pronunciating. No, enunciating?
That's
the
right.
word. Over-enunciating right now. I wouldn't normally speak like this. I'd be more like this and just
No.
chat it through it. And blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was... we've had 6 episodes out at the time of recording.
We have.
By the time we get released, this will be episode 8.
Yeah, that's right.
And it will be a new year, a new us.
Yeah.
But no, an evolution.
Well, it is a bit of a new us. The final date that you had was the 3rd of December,
It was.
which was our Fresh Faces of Film event.
It was. How did that go for you, Jed?
Which I think went pretty well.
Yeah.
Overall, I was a little bit nervous, but the films were really good and we had a great crowd. So thank you so much to everyone who came, because that was really
The crowd was
amazing.
the bit that threw me off the most.
Why?
I think that everyone was there. It was actually like an outstanding person.
Yeah.
I was very, very thankful. I was like,
There was no one, you're right, there's no one there who had to be like, oh, thanks for coming.
yeah. Like everyone was there. I was buzzing with there. And there was a bigger crowd. I thought we were going to get like 20 people. At like, obviously it started from 5 till 9, right? And I think at 5 o'clock, there was like 6 people there.
Your family.
And it was my family and us.
Yeah, I can't lie. That was the biggest.
We were getting shook. Yeah.
That's the most nerves I think I've had throughout this whole process.
I was literally in my head preparing a speech to be like, look, this is embarrassing. Obviously, no one's turned up. It is what it is. We're going to show them anyway. Enjoy it. We'll make the most out of this.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, within like 20 minutes, we probably had like 50 or so people there. And I think by one point we had about 60 something.
Which was weird because I assumed that, I thought people would come through at different times. The start time was 5 o'clock. So I thought people were going to come through, for 4:45 or...
Yeah, no one came before 5.
Every single person pretty much came at between 5:10 and 5:20.
Yeah. I think the trains are a little bit in the bin that anyway. So I think that caused a few to be late. I got a few messages saying I'm running late.
Yeah, me too.
So it had it. But no, all in all, I think it went really well. I think the films were good. I was absolutely shattered that day.
Same.
I'd been to Brighton and back.
I hadn't. I was just
in that morning.
I was normal tired.
Yeah, you just don't get up before midday.
I didn't eat anything that day.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, at the end of it, I literally felt I was going to pass out.
Yeah,
I think like the anxiety of it, maybe the stress.
I was going to say I was so anxious that day I couldn't eat. I think I had half a slice of pizza and some nuts.
No, I had a slice of pizza when I was at the event. To be fair,
A couple of drinks.
I didn't drink at all. No, I didn't drink because I knew I didn't want to. But
Drinks calm me down.
no, it went really, really well, and it was like for us that event really was like a proof of concept, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was proving that we could put on, people would want to come to it. The event itself could be enjoyable, and we think, and could we put one together? Obviously, the guys from Mother Kelly's were a big help.
Yeah. Massive
help, and they sort of helped us run it. Obviously, they.
Thank you, Albies too.
Albies as well was a big hit. Although my mum did ask if next time we can have curry there. My mum, by the way, she can't eat cheese. Allergic to cheese.
You got vegan.
Yeah, but I think she just didn't want anything on it. That's what they said. They said to her. To be fair.
Well, boys, Ryan, I know you're probably listening to this. How are you at making a curry?
Yeah. So no, there's no expectation to do that next time. But no, it went really, really well. I think it proved that concept. And now, going into 2024, it's now, can we not only do it again, but can we make it bigger and better and make it into a more consistent thing, and make money out of it?
Yeah.
So we can do it. Like the only reason we want to make money out of it is so it can fund it basically happening. So there's only a certain amount of time you can do it for free, but we don't want to charge.
Don't want to hurt your pockets, but we want your money.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of it.
Well, if we're going to take money off people, we have to make sure it's good though. So we'll make sure it's good. So that's what the next year is about: is can we make it bigger and better and worthwhile and create something that's sick. We've got some ideas to do it in different locations as well, and possibly all over the country.
Exactly.
So we will see, but
national.
That's us, baby. National, baby. But yeah, so I think December the 3rd, all in all, November the 3rd, November the 17th, and December the 3rd were 3 very, very key dates for us. And I think all of them, touch wood so far, have gone really well. You know what I'm waiting for? I'm waiting for for a disaster to happen. We've not had a disaster yet. We're going to have one. Everyone has one.
There was a few weeks, I think, leading up to the event where, won't name anybody, but
the films, there was a couple of issues with the films when they're getting films. Your film obviously didn't get finished.
Yeah,
and so it was like getting films on and getting things organised. So there's a little bit there, but no, we haven't had a disaster. We haven't had anything that's like, oh my god, how do we fix this?
We haven't said anything cancelable yet.
No, and I haven't got cancelled somehow yet. Yeah,
somehow.
No, I'm good really. I'll play up to it. Don't worry. But so those are 3 really big dates, and then I suppose one date which I didn't write down. I didn't put it as a date, but it was December the When did you go to Edinburgh? The 9th and 10th.
Between the 8th and the.
So it was the 13th.
Yeah, it was the 13th.
Was the 13th of December? That wasn't like a.
That was our progress review.
Yeah. So me and Jad sat down and
we evaluated each other.
Not each other. We
And
evaluated
ourselves.
how things have gone, including our own performances. But I actually would say it was really. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I thought it was really,
I agree.
Progressive. We spoke about, I think obviously setting up a company with someone. We set up a company and we lived together and we've been mates for I don't know how many years. So it's obviously like a fear that it could cause some some issues, I guess. I'm the Terminator of work. I don't stop working. I'm very sweet. With two nicknames. I'm the Terminator and Jad Dobby the house elf.
That's right.
My one is more. I think I don't switch off.
Yeah.
And I ask a lot and do a lot and have no life. And Dobby the house elf. Dobby. More because Jad, I think, is like. How do you describe it?
The house elf stuff would be. We've had moments, I think, when we've been doing the podcast where I have we've sort of talked about it, where I have a real reluctance to. I'm worried I'm going to come across arrogant sometimes. I don't like asking things of people.
Yeah.
I kind of
Agreed.
giving people the information and then giving them the space to make a decision. Whereas, obviously when you're starting a company, that's pretty counterproductive.
Yeah.
And I don't like feeling as though I'm telling people what to do or coming across arrogant. I think a lot of it is in film. I've met a lot of really arrogant people and I'm immediately turned off. And so I think from that regard, I think that's my learning curve, being a bit more authoritative. Is that authoritative?
Authoritative. I'm not
authoritative.
Sure. I'm not sure. I feel like I made that up. We have. I introduced Jad to SMART goals. Do you remember what SMART stood for?
No.
Specific, measurable, achievable, relatable, and timed. I think.
Okay.
I think that's it. So basically, it has to be goals which you can basically assess.
Yeah.
And we set those out. We've set 10 SMART goals. Do you want me to read them out to you?
Yeah, of course.
So we've got some that are like really objective. So we want to hit 1,000 Instagram followers by the end of 2024. Please follow us on there.
We'll buy them if not, anyway.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. It's illegal.
Is that true?
It's illegal. Yeah, we're not going to buy them if anyone's listening. Yeah, it's illegal. Yeah.
You get a criminal record.
I don't think you get a criminal record.
Why are you here? I bought Instagram followers.
But yeah, so you want to hit 1,000 Instagram followers. We want to hit 1,000 TikTok followers. So follow us on there, and if you don't follow us on Instagram. And we want to hit 100 followers on Spotify.
Yeah.
Those are pretty standard numbers. I'd like to do better than that, but there are numbers we're going to go for.
That's a minimum.
We want to run 2 events this year, minimum. And now, and I think that's definitely something we're going to do. We want to get our own podcast studio.
Yeah.
Which we've all but done.
We're in the process.
We're in the process of. One for me was Jad's going to organise one day a month, which has to be a leisure day, where we're doing no work.
So in our meeting, I think that was our thing. You do work a lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes I worry that you might be neglecting other areas of your life.
I have no other life.
We go to cinema sometimes.
We do, yeah. Well, I work because I work for passion in both my things. My day-to-day work is very. I'm very passionate.
So I don't want you to miss out on life.
Yeah. No, that's fair. So that's one of our goals. Check in with us to see if we get them done.
Yeah. Invite Joe out if you're listening to this and you think Joe's a cool guy.
Yeah, invite me out.
Invite him out. He is a cool guy.
Thanks, mate. We want to produce our first film.
Yeah.
So if anyone wants anything to produce or anything, or they can help us with it, or they have an idea, hit us up.
Yep.
We want to hit revenue of any kind.
£1
we want to make this year, and see how we can do it. We want to fill another seat. You've written it here. So we want to get someone to join us.
Yeah.
We want to expand. Let Me In. We have some people in mind. I won't say who it is here, obviously, but
some people in mind.
Some people in mind, and if you think that could be you, then reach out to us. But yeah, we want to more people working with us, the better. If you think you can add value, then hit us up.
Yeah.
And our final one, and probably our most ambitious one. We think it's achievable, but it's ambitious.
It is achievable.
It is achievable. Is we want to get Tom Holland on the pod.
Yeah.
Tommy Holland, another Kingston boy.
Lives 5 minutes from us.
Yeah, I can go knock on his door. Do you reckon we knocked on his parents' door? They'd just be like, all
right.
Absolutely not.
I don't know. I think we're going to have to come up with a real pitch to get him involved.
If anyone knows him or has an idea of how we can get it, but I want to achieve that. So all those 10 goals you just heard there have to be achieved by the end of the year or exceeded.
Yeah.
That's our aim, and and that's what we're going to do this year.
That's what we're gonna do, yeah.
Everything we're doing is tailoring towards that. And they hopefully sit in line of what we want Let Me In to be. So
Yeah.
Creating and highlighting pathways into the
Yeah,
entertainment industry. That's basically it for our year. People talk about wanting, setting goals, and people always say you should write them down.
Yeah.
And not only have we written them down, I'm going to print them and put them on the wall.
Yeah.
We've also said it here to the public, so we have to sort of do them.
Yeah.
So what we'll do in a year, which will be exactly 52 episodes away from this one, because we can do one every week, is we will discuss how we got on with those and where we're at and how we did it, how we achieved every single one of those things.
Yeah. Easily.
And maybe we'll do the 52nd one with Tom.
Yeah.
And it'll be the ceiling of all the...
Hello, mate.
Hello, mate.
We shouldn't really make fun of him.
He speaks like us.
He sounds exactly like us. Like,
Yeah.
whenever I watch a video of him, or he's on like a
He literally
panel show,
sounds like he's from it.
I can tell he grew up 5 minutes from where we live.
Yeah. No, big time.
Seems like a good chap.
But anyway, that's our year so far gone. And, in the new year, we've already got some really cool people lined up for the podcast. We want to really expand that and get some, really cool people on there who can educate me and hopefully you guys listening to different ways of getting into the industry.
Yeah.
We've got 6 at the moment lined up in January alone.
Great ones.
Which I think are all top tier.
Yeah.
If you listen back, all our episodes have been really good. The first moment I thought, wow, this is really like going places, getting Fran on.
Yeah.
I think having someone like
no
Fran,
offense to everyone before.
No, I mean people before that were brilliant. Like I think Morris was excellent. Alice outstanding, was hilarious. Chloe's like the way Chloe spoke and sounded. I thought her episode was brilliant.
Yeah.
Like she's really, really personable.
Really,
and you can tell how she's built for the radio. Like people just love listening to her. That's all the feedback we got for it. But Fran's someone who on a different scale to those people where she's been there and done it, and she's in the middle of her story.
Yeah.
She's not at the end because she's got loads of things she can still do, and she's doing some cool things. But she's worked with some of the biggest names and some of the biggest films, and having someone like that come on inspired me, at least, I think.
Yeah, that was massive, I think. That one was like, I felt that shift when we did that as well, where I was like, okay, we're not just messing around.
Yeah, I think the biggest lesson I've had, and we spoke to a few people, and what we're trying to do is speak to as many people as we can in and around the industry, whether it's on the podcast or outside of it, and ways how we can help other people and help us grow. And I think the biggest message I was always thinking is like, your circle is so much bigger. My circle was way bigger than I thought it was.
Your circle was bigger than I thought it was.
Well, I always said I was industry adjacent.
Yeah, you're more than I thought.
Yeah, because I know some people, it's like, I know some people who know some people who know some people. And that's how you find it. But everyone's circle, I think, is bigger than you realise.
Oh, yeah, I realised.
And the way to realise that is just to vocalise it.
Well, I went through my Instagram the other day and I was like, oh, there's like hundreds of people I could talk to here. Like,
yeah, and each one of them is going to know someone. And that's what people have been really, really good at, is like every other day I'm getting someone say, oh, by the way, I know this person if you want me to. Oh, I know this person.
Yeah.
And we've got to the point now I'm actually turning some people down.
Same, yeah.
I'm like, you know what, I can't, like, maybe not right now. Like, whereas before we were like, does anyone know anyone? And I think the biggest thing, and it's back to that the house elf thing, is like, just say it. Just be like, look, I'm looking for this. Just be up front. Yeah, I want to get into it, and people love helping. People really do. So
yeah. No more Dobby.
No more Dobby. That's left in 2023, and the Terminator and Dobby are locked in a room.
I like Dobby though.
he's likable.
Sorry. I don't think I asked that question.
Master Potter gave me a sock.
No apologies this year.
No apologies from Jad Steele. Never apologising again.
Yeah. I asked Dan one actually earlier.
In the Christmas
In
episode.
the moment, I was like, maybe that was too harsh, and then I was like, no, it was good. I looked him in the eyes and asked him if he had any traumatizing memories from his acting career so far, and I could see for 1 second he was like,
okay.
And then he answered. I was like,
no, I think it's good. It was good.
Yeah.
I think it's people like genuine questions as well, like interesting questions.
Yeah.
I mean, don't go and ask something ridiculously personal, which you're not going to do.
Yeah,
I
might.
You might. Well, if you do, we edit it out. But no, so. I'm quite looking forward to 2024. We want to really push on the marketing of things now. We haven't really done that. Everyone who's helped us out so far has been friends and family. Yeah. And now we want to reach out into the real world. So last couple of weeks and the next couple of weeks are really sort of us preparing to attack. Yeah. We're on all-out attack for those who play FIFA into 2024. Finally, I just want to speak, on the podcast. What's your favourite moments you've had so far?
I really enjoyed hearing about the relationship that when Fran was talking about the relationship between the writer and the choreographer, because I genuinely didn't know that. And I also wrote a script this year that had scenes of a dancer, on a stage. It was cutting between other scenes, and that had that music playing over it. Then it would cut back to the dance, and I really described that dance, but I was sort of going into it. I really didn't know how much to. I'd never written a dance before.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting for her to be like, it is kind of collaborative. You get that from the script. When I was writing that, I had no idea what relationship, how a choreographer would interpret that. So that was genuinely helpful as well. I mean, I loved sitting at Chloe's lovely outhouse.
Yeah, DJ Norm's studio.
The studio. I was very much thinking we need that. It was the most relaxed.
That inspired us.
That was nice.
To really get a studio.
Had a nice Guinness while we were doing that.
You did, yeah. I had a water because I was driving.
Yeah. I think it was a Friday. I think that's why I had it.
Yeah, it was a Wednesday, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It was a Wednesday morning. But
Friday,
you know what?
Friday in my mind.
Every day's a Friday, 5 o'clock somewhere.
Yeah. And then what else? I mean, honestly, it's hard to pick moments because I've really enjoyed all of it. The only one I haven't enjoyed doing was obviously my one because
it was you.
Yeah, and like I sort of felt as though I didn't have enough to say, or everybody thinks it's not going to be interesting. I felt like I wasn't going to be interesting.
But you were.
Thanks, mate. I wasn't fishing for that, but thank you.
But it's all right.
But then Alice, obviously I loved hearing the behind the scenes about comedy. I genuinely have an interest in comedy, so that was really, really interesting to hear and understand. And I've basically said everything, which may have been the whole thing. What about you?
I think each one's been different. So
Morris was all right.
So we obviously had the first one, which is the first time doing it, even though it's the fifth time doing it, but the fifth take of the first time.
Yeah.
Morris's one was the first time doing it with somebody else.
That's right.
And the challenges that faced. I shouldn't have fed him. Apologies for those who are listening to us.
Yeah, we shouldn't have fed him.
Because it was you. During the thing, I'm telling you to stop eating, and then
was it me as well?
And then you were like, "Nah, bro, let him eat." And I'm like, "Oh, well, you can edit it." Alice's one was the first one we did with someone who we don't know.
Yeah,
neither of us knew Alice
never met her before.
I think you might have. Did you meet her before?
I'd met her for 2 seconds.
Yeah, so I'd obviously never met her before, and it was the first time doing it outside of our flat as well. Chloe's one, I thought was really, because I thought that was the first time I felt that was us at our best at that point. In terms of
we hit a bit of a rhythm there.
We hit a good rhythm at that point. The dumb stories one, yeah. And then
that one was fine.
That one was okay. That one was all right.
That one exists.
That one happened.
And we ain't taking it down.
And then the Fran one was really good. As I say, I think it was, the story she spoke about is someone who is legendary.
Yeah.
And left a mark on millions of people. So that was a big moment. And then Dan's one was nice to me. It was my little brother. Thought he spoke really well.
He spoke really well.
Me and Dan recorded one months ago, to be fair, but
it was shit.
It wasn't very good. Yeah, I was tired. I drove to Liverpool. I was knackered, and he was knackered, and we just ended up being miserable on it. So never saw the light of day. So that was take 2.
Needed me.
And we didn't have Jad still. I do genuinely think that made a difference. I think having 3 in a room is quite a nice vibe. Yeah, so I think all of them have taught me something. I mean, for me, it's, this is really cringy, but I don't know, I'm just trying to learn, trying to fail. We've made many failures, but nothing disastrous.
We haven't had anything horrendous.
Someone said to me recently, you want to fail more than anyone else.
Yeah, I agree.
That means you're probably doing more than anyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, every post on Instagram, I'm trying to change slightly, or every single intro into the podcast.
Yeah.
Every way of editing it, I think we've got way better at how quickly we do things, how we talk to each other, how organised we are. So 1%, mate, just get improved 1% at a time.
Yeah.
Take it back to
it's good to fail. I agree. I actually totally agree with that.
Yeah. But no, look, thank you very much to everyone who's been part of our 2023 journey. Mm-hmm. Thank you to Jad.
Thanks, mate. Thanks to you.
Yeah. Because I think I've enjoyed doing this so far and want to continue.
Yes.
And I feel you've added loads of value to this and to myself. So thank you very much, mate.
Aww.
I just want to end on a few clips from the podcast so far. If you do us a huge favour though, before you do that.
If you know Tom Holland.
Text
him right now.
Text him. If you think you can help with any of our goals in particular, let us know. If you can't though, if you can make sure you follow us on TikTok, Instagram and Spotify, and share it with as many people as you can. Give us any feedback you want to give us.
Yes.
And enjoy the next clips and have a brilliant 2024.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Welcome. It's our first episode of Let the In podcast.
Mm-hmm.
This is a podcast that hopefully will revolve around people's experiences and attempts to get into the entertainment industry. We've got myself and Jad have 2 quite different lives. We live together.
That's right.
So we've got quite similar lives on a literal level, but I suppose I'm going to describe Jad and Jad's going to describe me.
That's a good idea.
Jad is a writer. He is a writer. He has been writing short films, long formatted stuff,
Yeah?
long form content. He's written blogs. He has written sketches. He's acted in sketches, produced them, and he's obviously now a co-host on a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a all-round stand-up guy, if a little vain.
A little?
I was being polite.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't have a mirror in my room.
Yeah, I find that insane.
Just
I'm more insecure than you somehow.
I reckon I go most of my days without looking at myself.
Mm.
But that's not my whole identity. I'd hope you don't
So
think.
no. So I've described Joe as a doer. He's a coach in football. You describe me so well. I'm kind of nervous now to describe you. You're very productive. I think you don't kind of wait for people to tell you what to do. You're very proactive with sort of exploring new ventures. And in that sense, I think you're very keen to kind of find out more about the entertainment industry and the film industry and what those people kind of sort of go through to, get to where they want to be. And I think you're really you're a curious person. And would you say all of that is fair?
I don't know what a doer is.
You do things.
Yeah, if you would. Yeah, I do things. I'm industry adjacent, is what I would call myself as well.
Yep.
And when I say that, I mean that because obviously living with Jad, who is a writer, my brother, Dan is an actor.
He is.
And I have, let's say, zero experience in the arts industry itself.
I made a list yesterday because it's been getting a bit dire.
Yeah.
I made a list yesterday on my notes. I messaged 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people yesterday.
Yeah.
Just being like, "Yo, hope you're well." I've got a little routine. I go, "Hope you're well and keeping busy." Just wanted to check in. Just wanted to check in or nudge. Those are industry terms. Checking in or nudging.
Okay.
It's because it's like if someone messages you about work, it's like you're giving them a nudge, being like, I exist.
I'm
like,
available,
remember
I'm around.
me?
Yeah.
I'm out here.
Yeah. So just checking in, giving you a nudge. If you ever need anyone in the near future, let me know. I loved working with you that one time. Thanks again. Hope to hear from you soon. Always put that there.
Let's hope no one you've messaged is listening to this and they feel now it's less personal.
No, it's always customized. Don't worry about that.
That's good. That's customized.
It's always customized, and if you're really special to me, listeners, then I won't even do a big message like that. I'll just be like, "Hi, how you doing?" And be like, "Oh," and then just actually start up a conversation. But I do that because it's like I realize now that's routine. Like people are used to that. Everyone does it. That's why there's no actual shame in the sucking up, unless you're really embarrassing,
Today's episode is going to be a little bit different. We're not got anyone to speak to. It's just myself and Jello the Vampire. But we're going to go through some art that Jad has been...
I think art's generous.
Art could be generous, but I'm going to be generous today. Some art that Jad's been creating over the last, you say, 18 months?
That's about right, yeah.
About 18 months. Jad's been writing, for those of you who have been living under a cave, has been writing
living under a cave.
Living in a cave. Living under a rock. That's the one I wanted. For those of you who have not been listening to it, it is called...
Dumb Stories from My Dumb Life So Far.
And therefore, this episode we're going to call Dumb Stories from Jad's Dumb Life
So far. Yeah.
But we're so in key, mate.
I used to say you shouldn't judge someone solely based on their appearance. Now I'd say you absolutely should.
There you go.
Sorry, let me rephrase that. Now I'd say you absolutely fucking should.
Nice.
That's the line. I just didn't want to...
Yeah. You don't want to
so I guess you'd agree with me there.
Well, you do, clearly.
Right. Sometimes. Sometimes.
Yeah, okay.
This is one of those instances where being shallow would have saved a lot of time and effort.
Mm-hmm.
This man is the real culprit of the firing of about 10 people and the liquidation of an entire business. I simply facilitated the means for it to happen.
Okay.
I unfortunately provided this man the opportunity to show the world, or just the public of Brixton, his best Chris Pincher impression.
I'm going to ask those at the back. Who's Chris Pincher?
Chris Pincher.
He doesn't know right now. He's looking it up. He's made a reference, and it was funny at the time, and he doesn't know who it is, and now he's scrambling to find him on Google to think what was the joke he was trying to make.
Tory MP.
Tory MP, thank you very much.
Because of how unstructured your career path is for any given person in stand-up, you kind of have to give yourself internal goals that are like unrelated to being booked here or getting an agent or whatever. Like, I think those things are all good things to aim for, but like they didn't help me. So at the moment I'm like, I'm gonna try and just write like a 45-minute work in progress show, because it's like my own thing. I can approach people to put it on. It's not dependent on, do I fit in on this lineup, or like does this venue want to book me? Which I think has been quite helpful for me, because otherwise it's kind of like a bit of a like wilderness out there, because it's such a huge scene. It's hard to like get your name out there.
Do you think if you sent those 60 emails out and didn't get a response, you'd have done it again? Or do you think that would have been the end of the story?
I probably would have done it again. That's quite interesting you asked that, actually, because I'd really like to do voiceovers, and I got a voiceover demo recorded.
Okay.
Another demo. And I sent them out again to maybe like 40 different agencies. And the responses I got were all no. Not everyone responded, but most of them were no. And it's not necessarily because I don't have a good voice and they didn't like my voice. It's just because they weren't looking for my particular voice at that time. And I did feel like really disheartened, and I haven't sent them out again, but I should. And it's really hard to not take it personally, because I feel like they're saying you're not good enough. But it's not that at all. And I think with regards to saying yes to everything, I said yes to everything at the beginning. Like, I was doing like double shifts, and it wasn't good because I was tired all the time, but you do have to do the shit jobs to get the good jobs. You know what I mean? Like, I still take the bins out now at work. We have a cleaner, but if my boss tells me to take the bins out, I'm gonna do it, because he'll remember that. He's like, Chloe's a good person.
Yes,
Whereas if you ask Dave down the road, he'll probably tell you to F off, and
you can swear.
Fuck off. But also, I think you have to find the balance as well, because now I'll say no to things because I don't want to do it, and I don't have to do it.
All Tim said to me was, I want Oompa Loompas inside the television and outside the television. That was it. That was all the brief I got. So, but again, he wouldn't have left me. Do you know what I mean? It was more like, just go and see what you can do. And so we set up, and I came home. So Mitch, my lad, was 6 going on 7. So I got all his toys out the cupboard, took them in the next day, and we set up some commercials, and we set up a chef. Literally, we just used whatever we had in the room. And I said, it's got to be a rock band. It has to be a rock band. So we pretended, me and Jane, to be a rock band. And we brought Tim out. He must have thought we were nuts. And we ran around this rehearsal room going for the fridge was the chef. And he was brilliant, because he just went, yeah, and went away. And I drove in to Pinewood the next morning, and the producer phoned me on the way, and she said, "Oh, you're nearly here." I said, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, because it's all changed. I said, "Oh, okay. Oh, never mind. We tried. Got the script. It was all in. It was all in.
Nice.
And that was the most amazing feeling. So going back to that thing about writers, that I hadn't met the writer then, but that was obviously fed through to him.
And he was just like...
And they were open. He was open. Tim was open. Amazing.
Just out of interest as well, what kind of roles do you get, have you been kind of pushed towards, and what image do you think you've been pushed towards as an actor?
I've got 2 quite weird ones.
Okay.
They're not weird, and it's weird that they're the 2, I find, really. It's either like snarky, funny, cocky kid, or it is psychopath.
Yeah,
really,
and nothing in between.
I.e. cannibal, or like
so
I played a rapist in one scene. Yeah, I know.
It's like Ferris Bueller's Day Is Off. That's a bit like a psychopath / cocky young boy. Do you think that's your perfect role?
It's like, it's like a sociopath.
Sociopath, sorry.
Yeah, I'd do Ferris Bueller happily.
Yeah, you do that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So you kind of push towards those. Is that sort of what you want to do, like in terms of roles?
I enjoy doing both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I like it because they're so different as well.
Yeah.
You know, the more you do one certain thing, the more boring it gets, and the less kind of invested you are into each character, and they start like my fear would be that over time they start to become just the same character you're constantly playing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which would just take the fun out of it for me.
Yeah, and obviously, you mentioned Dan Stevens' career, and you don't want to be doing the same thing.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing the same thing.
Yeah. Do you find that like when playing close to yourself, you kind of don't want it, that you want to get away from yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm confident that every character you play has some aspect of yourself in it, because it opens a door for you to enter that character.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? If you have that one point of, it could be anything, like it can be either something like a tick you do, or it can be like you understand this kind of thought process, and then from that you work into that mindset.
Okay.
It can be something tiny, or it can be something big. Like that's entirely, I think, up to the person playing the character. But for me, you've one kind of in which gets into it, but it doesn't have to be, this is just me playing me. Do you know what I mean? And some actors do that, and that's completely fair enough. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's what you love doing, by all means do it. Do you know what I mean? If that's what
Rogen
pays.
did that for like half his career.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many super famous actors that do. I mean, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
And I do love me Ryan Reynolds. Don't get me wrong. I'm a big Ryan Reynolds fan.
Thank you very much for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
Thanks, Joe.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Chad.
It's all right.
See you later.
See ya.